Here's how I managed to work at Apple as an engineer on £92,000 a year at the ages of 21 years old. Now, if you're in tech right now, but you're not getting the progression that you want, whether that's pay or otherwise, let's actually break down why. But before we do, let's go through some qualifying statements, right? Because what I've just said, 6 figures, Apple engineer at 21, those are some very big statements. So let's actually break it down with some proof. So here is my offer email letter, and as you can see, it's congratulations, it's Apple, and then from here, this is the pay and compensation that I was getting, and then we've also got me with, my badge, the mugs and whatnot, me in the office. So now that the proof's out of the way, right, you may be thinking like, Cameron, that's fantastic and all, but how did you actually do this? Like what did you do? Right? Well, I'll actually tell you what I didn't do. Okay. So most candidates will typically focus on the following. They'll focus on developing their technical knowledge and skill set further, learning more things that are technical. They'll be applying loads. They'll be cold outreaching to hiring managers and recruiters and using ChatGPT for their CVs, alongside also taking job posting keywords and putting them into their CV as well, which simply doesn't work. And most candidates will typically do this, and they'll do this over and over again. These don't print job offers. This makes you seen as a commodity in the tech job market, therefore an average candidate. Now, before Apple, I had only some tech experience, and it wasn't a lot. It was like 4 to 6 months. I only had a bachelor's, although that's not required for tech. And I wasn't a technical expert in my field. Like, I had a technical skill set, but I was nowhere near the expert of that, right? But I still got the Apple position despite my competition having all of these times 10. When I went for the Apple engineering position, there was 200 candidates and only 2 spots available. There was people who applied that had masters, PhDs, 5 to 10 years worth of experience because they wanted to break into Apple, and they thought the best way of doing so would be to apply directly, even though they're overqualified. So I was competing with people who also had 5 to 10 years worth of experience as well. Yet I was still one of those 2 positions that were given out, despite having 200 candidates who literally overshadowed me at every possible realm. Well, why did I get it then? Why did I get it and not the others? Well, I'll tell you exactly why. It's because I didn't compete on the same plane as every other candidate. I operated on a different plane and a different chosen level. And I'm going to break down that level to you right now so you know exactly what to do. Now, these 3 components is what landed me an engineering role at Apple. So let's go ahead and break them down. So the first one is going to be value. Okay, because without value, you have nothing to provide, nothing to portray to companies, and companies will just simply not want to hire you. Without the value, you are seen as a gamble, okay, a potential risk to companies. Ask yourself this question. If you had a company, would you hire someone with no experience, no skill sets shown, no value provided at all? Like at all? No, of course not. That's a risk. That's a gamble. You may hire someone and then they just do nothing for your business. And companies operate on the same way for tech roles. If you don't showcase, any experience that you have, it doesn't matter if you have any or not, but if you do, showcasing it in the right way, showing off your skill sets, providing value of what you've done in the past and forecasting future value as well, then you're never going to hear back from these companies because they're always going to ever see you as a risk. Alongside that, it's also going to be about positioning, right? Positioning is about precise marketing, making you be seen as a credible authority in the space and not a desperate candidate looking to be hired. And that is actually what generates you a lot of the offers most of the times. Alongside that, it's also going to be about having proven systems and infrastructure. These are going to be proven systems to increase the demand for you as a tech candidate in the industry and build an applicant ecosystem that allows you to land interviews and land offers with ease. Now, if you focus on these 3 aspects here, value, positioning, and infrastructure, these are going to land you any single possible tech role you could ever possibly want. This is what led me into an Apple engineering role at the ages of 21 on close to 6 figures a year, which is almost unheard of in the UK. Now, having all 3 will make you a top 1% candidate for your dream ideal tech roles, and without it, you're going to continue to collect rejections, ghostings, be the same, and be seen the same as everybody else out there. So while others focus on being the best technical candidate, which is a never-ending cycle, you can never be that, I focused on value, systems, and positioning, which elevated me on a different plane towards all of the other candidates out there. And this is exactly how I landed a £94,000 a year engineering role at Apple at 21. Now, if you want some more specific help and details regarding this, and you want me to work with you and coach you to be able to land these roles for yourself, then I'll pop a link in the top of the description where you can book in a one-to-one call with me, where we can go over your current situation, your current bottlenecks, and seeing if us working together would be a good fit to get those solved.